Well, hey again, everyone. I hope you're all doing very, very well there. And it's been a bit of a time since the last time I talked with you guys, and a little longer than I anticipated because I actually meant to do an update last weekend, but I got down with a cold. I picked it up from my dad a little bit. He got really sick last week and stuff like that. Then I got my throat torn up. I was like, okay, I can speak fine, but it's like I'm not going to overtax it and kind of change things in that regard. So I figured just going to put the whole week on pause, get to get into the whole thing, and I'm still taking down some decongest and stuff like that, but generally I'm just fine. So, a lot of things to talk about, things to be updated on, obviously, about where we're going, some new things coming up, and various other things in that regard. So, in the last month, we got both commentaries out for the original Piranha and the 3D remake of Piranha. So, most of those are out now, and I got the video out for the Prophecy trilogy, the entire retrospective I did for the Christopher Walken films in that franchise. And that was a very satisfying thing for myself. And hopefully you guys have watched that. If you haven't, go on and check it out after you check this video out. And hopefully you enjoy a lot of that great stuff. Now, coming up next month in terms of commentaries, one, we're doing House of Wax, the remake from 2005, as a sort of, not exactly on the money, sort of anniversary type of thing, but in regards to that. And barring Steve's copy, I haven't watched it yet, but I'm going to get around to it. And the other thing is, we've been planning to do for Steve's 200th commentary, doing the original Stand miniseries, the Stephen King The Stand miniseries from '94, and I've been getting my way through the first 2 episodes. There's 4 episodes in total, each are about 90 minutes total, so it'll be interesting to everything how we're going to structure out how we're going to do the whole thing in that regard. But I've gone through the first 2, so I got to get through the last 2. I want to get through the whole thing, and then we record things and figure out what we're going to do in that kind of schedule. And so, still got 2 more to go, but things are going off. As I kind of already previewed Steve a little bit, like, the first episode was a little, it's a lot of things that kind of, like, a whole ton of setup type of things, and it's a little arduous getting through, because I'm not really familiar with the source material. I'm sure with Steve, he probably read the whole thing beforehand, and is very much kind of like, oh, I know all this type of stuff, and I'm anticipating what's going on, and I have a foreknowledge of where the story's going. For me, it was a little here and there, but there's nothing to kind of lay on the ground for when we get around to talking about it properly. And so I've been watching for the DVD version. Steve has his own DVD version at home because he's got it from like some kind of like Stephen King box set type of thing, where how it was some multi-pack DVD set from Paramount. And so I've been thinking about, once I get to the end of this thing and feel how I feel about it and everything like that, I might grab up the Blu-ray, because just get the best quality we can have and stuff like that in that regard. And of course, there's certain, I think I was at Half Price Books, and I saw they had both the original Artisan DVD and the Paramount DVD. And the run times on 2 different things are different, because I think the Artisan DVD actually cut it up into 2 different versions, 2 different episodes. So you have, on one side of the disc, you got the first 2 episodes kind of edited together as one single feature, flip it over, and the same thing for the 3 and 4 episodes are one single long type of thing. So slight differences in that regard in terms of run times and stuff like that, but be as close as possible, where we kind of going off of what's the most current version out there. So that would be probably the Paramount DVD or the Blu-ray they put out several years ago in that regard. So it's pretty cheap. It's usually under $10 on Amazon or whatnot. So I figured I'd grab it up for the occasion and give it off to Steve as overpriced for the 200 type of thing. So I felt like, it's probably all right and whatnot, in terms of like, I just want to wait till I get to the end of the thing and kind of feel it out and then grab it and whatnot. Because he was a little iffy about when he was going through it himself, saying like, not entirely certain you're going to like it quite as much. And so he might consider something else to kind of throw in the mix in terms of a replacement or whatnot. But I'm getting through it. I want to try to honor this as best I can to give Steve the forum to cover this one in that regard. So I'm getting there. A little at a time. I got things to say, but we'll get there. So anything like that. So there's that. And in terms of videos, because I've been talking here and there about like some retro video series stuff, because I was originally planning to do for the end of this month, do the entire thing of covering the Apollo 13 IMAX version of the film for because the 30th of June is the exact 30th anniversary of the release of the film, but with everything that went on with my cold and everything like that, and various other things, I kind of skewed my interests to somewhere else. So it'll eventually still happen. I just felt like not right now is not when I was feeling it the most. They kind of put in the effort for it in that regard, and I kind of got my interest off to something else, which would be a redux review of a film that I covered way back in 2013 in a very short video. It was like 9 minutes long in that regard, but for this film I felt like there's a lot more to discuss. There's a lot of behind the scenes turmoil in the film and kind of discuss it to a certain degree, and that's going to be the Sylvester Stallone, Rutger Hauer film, Nighthawks. Obviously I have the Shout Select Blu-ray that I got for a birthday present several years ago, many years ago, for my sister. And so I was starting to go into things. I did watch the whole film. I took some notes on the whole thing, but of course, that was like last Friday night, and then I got sick, and like I didn't feel quite right to do it. Started jumping into it when I didn't feel quite as well, and so we're picking this back up this weekend. Is what I'm saying. So refresh myself. I went through like one interview on the whole thing, so I got to go back through all the interviews and behind the scenes stuff on the Blu-ray, and dig up some other little things here and there, but I got everything ripped off it last weekend, so that's perfectly fine. So I'm primed to jump into this whole thing, because I felt like if I only did this in a 9-minute review back then, it's like I didn't go nearly enough detail, especially not knowing nearly as much about the background of the film in terms of like all the stuff that happens, the stuff that got cut out of the entire film, the things got reworked, and various other things. A lot of troubles behind the scenes of the film. It still turned out to be a very important film in my regard, and a lot of case of Stallone and Rutger Hauer, Billy D. Williams, a lot of people involved in the film, very important to a certain degree, so I felt like this would be a good solid one. And Steve's never seen it. A time or two I brought it up, he said he's never seen it. Trent had never seen it, so I felt like we got other things on the commentary slate, and I kind of like trying to push something else into it, so I felt like this was a good one to me do a brand new video and cover it in a lot of different details in that regard. So I feel like that's a good thing to grab up and talk about in that regard, and cover that very, very shortly. So there's that. And excuse me if my voice gets a little rough here and there or whatnot. It's being a little irritated as we go along here, but I like right now. But wanted to mention before I get into media pickers, because there's a big stack of things here. I did go to the theater a couple times with the same movie, because I did go see the John Wick spin-off Ballerina opening weekend. Then I went again the next weekend, because not the next weekend, but the following week, because I really enjoyed it. Wasn't aces, wasn't like 100%. I felt like there's a couple little things that felt like could have been worked on a little bit more in the entire thing, but I felt like Ana de Armas in the film was spectacular. She was just all in. I love the imagination, the innovation in the action sequences, so many different things. The whole thing, like, that's really great. That's really smart type of things to add in there. It just shows that the franchise hasn't run out of ideas in terms of creating interesting fighting sequences and action sequences and stuff like that. I felt like they had a lot of new ideas in the entire thing to expand the world a little bit further. And I felt like maybe some of since it's a few weeks past, a little vague on certain things, but I just felt like there's maybe a few little things in the script that could have been worked on a little bit further to kind of flesh it out a little bit here and there. I thought she was fantastic in the whole thing. Gabriel Byrne was kind of a decent villain. It's usually decent. Weird kind of accent he kept putting on. I wasn't like the first scene in the film felt like it was just like his regular accent, but his later scenes felt like it was a bit of a different accent, like it was something Danish or something like that. I don't know, German. I couldn't really pin down exactly what it was. It was a little weird, but it was a lot of great action sequences. A pretty good story overall. I felt like she was a fantastic lead the whole thing. Sadly, the box office not really kind of tractioned out for it. It's like I think the budget was around $90 million. It's only made a little over 100 worldwide. So it kind of opened maybe a little soft, and it kind of dropped off. It just didn't have the staying power I feel it should have had. Because, again, I saw it opening weekend. I saw it on Saturday. Then went back on Thursday. Thursday one, there was nobody in the theater. And so I just got the whole big theater to myself. I had a nice time with it. And I jumped on this whole thing because I was right around this time. I was back working on my Vengeance screenplay, the big feature-length action film that's like 140 pages or something like that. It's a little much, but I got to a point where it's like I feel like I've ironed out all the problems I had with it, like all the character problems, the kind of action scene problems, the things here and there. I felt like I was like, man, I'm kind of at peace right now. I'm not finished with it. I'm not perfect on it. I still have to do like page one to first page to last page, like full read through. I got to do that in like one day at some point in time, just make sure things flow the way they need to, and they're structured the right way, and they're paced the right way. But the fact that I was like, okay, I'm in the middle of working on this thing, and then this action film comes out, and so it's giving me ideas. So I was kind of fueling the entire thing. So I got all the soundtrack stuff. I got the actual soundtrack. I got the Castlevania EP they went out, and then the Evanescence song they put out. So it was like I just grabbed everything up in like the 1 week. It was just freaking phenomenal. Just like I just listened to this stuff. It sounds fantastic. It really fueled the entire idea there, and I was just like really, really happy. So like I saw it twice. Then my sister and my dad, who were out of town on a vacation, they decided to go see it too. So my enthusiasm at least led to someone else going to see it and everything like that. So still late in the cycle right now. It's kind of it's still got show times going on here and there. It's not drastically dropped out of theaters, but still late in the cycle. And there's not much hope for it to kind of like double up what it's already made. So it's going to be maybe a little bit of a loss on the theatrical window for Lionsgate and the whole thing, and it might affect what they might do with other spin-offs with the franchise. See where they want to go with things. I don't know. It's like it just kind of went a little lukewarm. Maybe they make it up on streaming revenue and stuff like that. Who knows? We'll have to see in the long run what happens. But it'd be a little bit of a shame for me if they don't kind of continue that story overall, because I really thought Andy Armas was really fantastic. The whole thing, just between the action sequences, acting, and the character and various other things, it was very, very satisfying. Very, very satisfying type of film. Kind of felt watching as like this could be like. I feel like this could be a new comfort movie for me. Just saying I could really just throw on all the time. And the fact is, I don't care. I'm going to tell you right now, the fucking climax of this movie, flamethrowers. I'm sitting here, both times I went to see it, I'm sitting here watching this sequence, and I can't help but tell myself, this is the coolest fucking thing I've ever seen myself. This is some of the best shit I've ever seen in my life. This is the best fucking shit. I'm just loving the crap out of what the fuck is going on in the climax of this film with flamethrowers going off all over the place. It won, for me, the Tony Caesar's Fire Stunt Award of the decade. So anyone's followed our commentaries for a long period of time knows about Tony Caesar, the guy who did the burn stunt in the original Nightmare on Elm Street. We've kind of carried the torch of sorts, as it were, for him all this time. It's like this, he would be proud of this shit, man. Damn straight. Definitely recommend it. But moving on from that, of course, I got some actual soundtracks in my pickup, speaking of such things. And one was the fact that I came across the music video for the song from the soundtrack, and I didn't realize there was one, because it wasn't the type of film to a certain degree in that regard, but I just got to listen to the music, and I just kept thinking about the film so much because I love the film, and so I grabbed up the soundtrack for The Princess Bride from Mark Knopfler, of course the Willie DeVille song, nominated for an Oscar for the Best Original Song, and I just absolutely I adore this film. I've got the Criterion Blu-ray, and just like I watched it a couple months ago, and I'm just like I just got such a wealth of love for this film all over again. It's like I'm compelled to maybe talk about it sometime on the channel. Maybe, I don't know if Steve's interested in commentary or not. I'd be kind of up. Like, I kind of mentioned recently, like I'd be up for more Rob Reiner stuff, where I haven't seen a lot of the stuff, but I definitely like Stand By Me and stuff like that. Had that big run that we already did Misery for. It's got that big, long, fantastic run, just like a variety of different things that he showed that he was such a master of. So this is a perfect, absolute perfect film. I just adore it so much. And just like I just felt like grabbing the CD soundtrack, because it's a little cheap. I can find it dirt cheap on eBay and everything like that. And it's got this nice fold-out insert with some photographs, all that type of stuff, and just like regular old credits and liner notes on the other side. But just like You can still get it on iTunes and stuff like that. It's easily available in that regard, but I just felt like I wanted to get this and kind of maybe save a few bucks or grabbing that used and everything like that. So, really fantastic type of thing. But another fantastic thing is I actually grabbed up because I recently finally sat down and watched my 4K of Sudden Death from Kino Lorber. Wonderful Van Damme film, one of his best. Put it right up there with Hard Target and stuff like that. Just like the 4K, it looks fantastic, sounds incredible. And the fact that it sounded so incredible is the fact that I, of course, realized I gotta get the soundtrack for this thing. And they put out, Bond put out a deluxe edition version of the whole thing, which I grabbed up. And like, this is just an ultimate pairing, because these both came out last year about the same time. And I got this on eBay. This was up on eBay. It's a 2000 limited edition copy of 2000. So that just like, I got it on eBay for $20, which is about what they're selling it for on Sarah Bond's website, but that's $20 plus the shipping. I got this $20 flat out, and this is perfect condition. Just absolutely just like new, no problem. Of course, you get fantastic booklet again with all the different like liner notes and photographs and various other things. So just like, that's what you want, because you can get it on digital download for I think about $15 off the website in various formats, everything like that. You get a FLAC, an MP3, or whatever you want to get it from. But I want the physical thing so much. I was glad I found someone selling it for that kind of price and everything like that. So I just like, this is a fantastic ultimate pairing. John Debney's soundtrack for the film, the score, is one of the best action soundtracks out there. Just like, it's a wonderful, excellent, big piece of work he put together, the whole thing. So it's like, even though a film that didn't perform very well, but it's maintained a very strong cult following, people kind of go back to it, like, this is one of the best sort of like die-hard knockoff concepts overall. It's like, it was done really well done for Peter Hyams. All the stuff in the climax, where the entire crane shot goes from the ice all the way up to the top of the arena, and the big explosions with the helicopter and anything like that. And they didn't get any. They waited and waited for Kino Lorber to get some stuff from like Van Damme or Peter Hyams for bonus material for the disc, and they kind of waited and waited, and it never happened. But they did get some vintage interview clips and some behind-the-scenes footage that actually shows, like, some of the stuff you might think, oh, maybe they did that with like a miniature or model work or anything like that. No, they actually crashed the freaking helicopter on the ice in the arena. They showed the behind-the-scenes of it happening. Like, goddamn, just don't expect that type of stuff sometimes. So you just think it's all kind of effects, trickery, and stuff like that. No, they just took the fucking thing and blew it up. So the interview clips on the whole thing are not terribly insightful to a certain degree, but it's nice to at least try to put something archival on here just to have a little bit of something sweet on the whole thing, sweeten it up a little bit. Of course, they have action film historian commentary, plus along with a UK cult movie director, both those guys jump on the whole thing to give us some kind of insight. So they can put some effort in the whole thing. A lot more than you can say for Scream Factory's Time Cop 4K, which has no bonus features whatsoever, just the film and that's it. Not a trailer, not nothing, anything, period. Very poor in that regard in terms of what they did for the whole thing, because they're still selling for like $32.99. It's like, if you're not going to give us any bonus features, you could knock the price down. Because it's like this thing, I didn't know I did not pay this for $30. I don't know what I got it for. I got it like last October or whatnot. I think there was a sale going on, so probably $20 to $25 tops. So that's a good price for this whole thing. I mean, it's a fantastic film. I absolutely love it. Stellar type of thing. Wouldn't mind. Steve's definitely not seen it, but I would definitely lend to him if he was ever interested in checking it out for us to do a bit of Van Dammage on the channel in that regard. But it's really good stuff. Powers Booth being the villain, excellent, top heavy work from him. All the type of stuff. So such an excellent package in that regard here. And moving on to other things, as about a week or so ago, I was a bit of in a funk. I wasn't feeling that terribly good about just like mood-wise. I was like, I'm really kind of irked, or I was just in some kind of mood like this or whatnot. And so I was like, I just want to grab something that makes me feel good. To buy something that makes me kind of get me up in that regard. And this recently came out from Scream Factory, new 4K edition. And so I was like, I was probably going to buy it a couple days later anyway, once I got my paycheck, but I figured, what the hell, I'll just jump on it now. So I grabbed up the 4K of Lord of Illusions. Now, I had the previous Blu-ray they had, which was claimed that the director's cut was from a brand new HD transfer, but definitely when you're looking at the reference stills and everything like that, from that one doesn't look terribly good. I was never really impressed with the transfer on the old Blu-ray. Like, it's a lot of print damage. It's not already popping out with like detail or whatnot, and certainly when you look at the more closely at it, it's like there's not a lot of detail. It feels like there's like DNR or some post-processing going on. This 4K definitely is a major step up. There's a lot better clarity in a lot of different places. Even in the places where they had a lot of the kind of old optical effects work or some of the digital effects work, where the image kind of got soft and maybe a little washed out, it's a little better. It's a little bit of improvement in some cases, so it's not a drastic thing, but you can definitely tell it looks better than it did before in that regard. But all the other and all the other stuff, the entire film looks a lot more filmic, a lot more just clean detail overall. Just like the colors are strong, stuff like that. It's like I watched most of the film again. And it's like I still stand by the review I did about 5 years ago. Talking about like there's a lot of fascinating ideas, a lot of great characters in the whole thing, but there's some things that are a couple flaws. I still feel like Bakula, as much as I like him, as Quantum Leap, Star Trek Enterprise, stuff like that, I really like him in those roles. Still feel like they didn't quite get the characterization exactly right for Harry D'Amour. Clive Barker's fantastic character in that regard. It felt like there was like played too light. Felt like it was a character that was supposed to have a weight hanging upon him and being kind of a haunted character in that regard. Never really gets played up in the entire film, but there's so many different characters, Nix and Swan and Butterfield and various other things. There's just fantastic ideas in the film. The entire world of magic and all that type of stuff. Like, it's so absolutely fascinating. I love the entire detective horror noir thing. It's like that just stirs my interest so much. So there's still a lot of things I love about the film. Some of the things I still feel are definitely flaws overall, but there's like such a unique piece of horror. And there's so much more you can say about a lot of the things that went to the screen from Clive Barker's imagination. Very unique. Stuff like Hellraiser, Candyman, various other things. Stuff here and there, so like Nightbreed and everything like that. So like Lord of Illusions, I still think is a quality and interesting piece of work that's worth checking out and stuff like that. So definitely, if you're very much a fan of it, it's a brand new 4K restoration. And I didn't watch it, but they do have a new interview with the film's composer on the whole thing. So did add a little bit extra stuff on top of what they had on the old Blu-ray. This is just a 4K edition. There's no company Blu-ray in the whole thing because Screen Factory lost the Blu-ray rights and they went over to Sandpiper Pictures, who put out Bare Bones Blu-ray some time ago. So Screen Factory just secured 4K stuff, so it's just a 4K disc on this whole thing. So make sure that you have the 4K setup if you're going to get this thing, because otherwise you'll not be able to watch it properly. But it does have Dolby Vision, and I think it's 5.1 and 2.0 audio on the whole thing, plus Clive Barker's old commentary from the old Laserdisc release, I believe. So, good things in that regard. And Lord of Illusions has always been done pretty well on home video because I've come across the Laserdisc box set sometimes, and that's got, again, a lot of bonus features on this, like the archival standard def stuff comes all the way back from the Laserdisc. So they really put stuff out for the director's cut and the whole thing. It's commentaries, some behind-the-scenes stuff, various other things in that regard. So it's given a pretty nice package. They've always kind of carried everything over from one format to the next. So I've had it on DVD, Blu-ray, now 4K. So I think it's been treated pretty nicely over the years in that regard, despite not kind of hitting the box office terribly well at the time. But cult following and everything like that as things go along in that regard. And some water here. But Kino Lorber had a sale going on, which was a 50% off sale recently. And I decided to bite on two different things. One's a brand new one that's been out for a little bit of a time. The one that's been out for a little bit of a time, which doesn't have a slipcover anymore, but I finally grabbed up Monster Squad. Because I've only ever had it on DVD. And I just kind of kept looking at it, waiting for the price to kind of go down or whatnot. I felt like, well, if it's a 50% off sale right now, this is probably the best it's going to get before it kind of maybe inches along to being maybe out of print in a couple of years. So I felt like for a 3-disc set that has the 4K edition and the Wolfman's Got Nards documentary feature and all the different things on it, I felt like this is a good enough time to grab it as any. So it's probably about $25 or so in that regard, in that range, whatnot. And I've always loved the film. Just way back in the day, totally covered it. I think about 2014 or so. That Forever Horror Month on the channel. And I think that's still a very solid video I put together on the whole thing, talking about Fred Decker and Shane Black's contributions. I think Stan Winston worked on the film, Richard Edlund and stuff like that, and the interesting qualities of the film. So I didn't have as much behind the scenes information like the documentary has on this thing, but I think it was a very solid review I did back in the day, talking about the various aspects of the film, and of course how I absolutely love Duncan Rhaegar as Dracula in the film. So definitely a good thing. I did pop the disc because I figure it's been around long enough. I didn't really need to kind of review the disc in a certain way, because most people who are probably interested in it probably already know the quality of what it is already. But the other thing I grabbed up was a brand new release, was the Phil Alden Robinson film Sneakers. Fabulous. This is such a great comedy. It's a great comedy caper film in such a way. It's like it's got elements of thriller, but also fun stuff. So it's like it's such a perfect mix, a balance of tones in that regard. So, I mean, I can just show you it was in the film off of this right the hell away. So I don't have to read it off to you, but it's just a wonderful film. And again, another one I just had on DVD before. And it was like I kept kind of picking anything, like maybe doing a video on it at some point in time. But once they announced this, I felt like, okay, I'm going to put it on pause until this gets out. And there's nothing, in terms of like, there's no new bonus features on this at all. It's all the old stuff poured over. Though there was a release in the UK with some additional, like an interview or something else like that, some other additional stuff that was put out at a certain point in time, but I think that's probably exclusive to that release, and you have to import it or whatnot. It's probably a reason to be released in that regard, but I felt like, yeah, I put this in for a little bit, skipped around a little bit to kind of check out the quality of transfer. Looked really excellent in that regard. So it's like it's really top-notch type of stuff. Great detail, great filmic grain, great grading on the whole thing. There's a couple of sequences with like some darker lit scenes and whatnot, but there's also some stuff like some interesting color washes at some points in time. Not too many things, but just like there's a couple of scenes when they're in the surveillance van and stuff like that. They got some like blues or reds or whatnot washing over Sidney Poitier or Dan Aykroyd's faces. So I was like, really well done, color graded the whole thing. So this is an excellent piece of work. I really just absolutely love this film. It's just such a great thing. You need to see this. Be a beacon. All that type of stuff. It's a glorious, glorious piece of work. Phil Alden Robinson, who did Field of Dreams. It's another classic, I feel, from him. Just like perfect cast. Everything on top of it. And James Horner did the score for it, and the score is really fantastic. So I started listening. The bit of the score I was going through, the various scenes, is like, well, I might have to grab this one. This sounds really, really good. Really, really good. So that's really top-notch marks for me. So I also got that for about $20 or so on Amazon in that regard. So that's good. And I was poking around. I think this was back on a while ago. I think the Memorial Day half-price books weekend or whatnot, where they had 20% off pretty much everything. And I probably grabbed up some CDs or something like that. I didn't grab up that much. But I did find Season 1 of Terminator the Sierra Chronicles on Blu-ray. Because I just had Season 1 and Season 2 on DVD. And I always kind of like never just upgrade, because the Blu-rays don't have lossless audio. They still just have Dolby Digital 5.1 on. So I was like, oh, well, kind of irksome in that regard. And I kind of spend that much to upgrade when the audio isn't an upgrade. But I felt like I got this for like fucking nothing. Like piss all money. With 20% off, and the thing was not marked that high and whatnot, so I got it for a couple bucks. Maybe $5-6 or whatnot. Really good price in that regard. So, and it got the slipcover on it. So I'm poking around to get Season 2 on Blu-ray upgrade in that regard for a price that seems like it's maybe not quite as good, because it's a longer season, more discs and stuff like that, but just trying to find the right price for the whole thing to kind of grab off of eBay or whatnot. So we'll see what happens, but haven't come across Season 2 in the wild in that regard, but good thing to grab this up, because it's always that kind of thing to maybe revisit the series, maybe do a video on it. I don't know. That's kind of a big thing to kind of go off for a 2-season thing. Even though I'm kind of like saying, I said a couple months ago, like Human Target, I want to cover, because like I eventually got someone to get me the rips for Season 2, which was never released on physical media. Seems to have popped up on a couple of services now. It seems to be back out there. I think it's up on like Pluto or Tubi or whatnot, so you can actually watch Human Target Season 2 now out somewhere in that regard. But still something I want to do eventually one day, because it just lost something like, I loved Season 1 of that show, and then they kind of retooled everything, and they kind of ruined it, and then they canceled it, and stuff like that. So I felt like there's just been a lot of stuff over the years, or like I really want to have a video to kind of discuss that, similar to what I did with the Brimstone one years ago, but since it's 2 full seasons of a show, maybe like a season and a half, like a whatnot. I don't think it's like a full 40 or so episodes, but probably good, maybe two or three dozen episodes to talk about in that regard. So it's a lot of stuff to cover, but it's still something that's on my mind to eventually cover at some point in time. So a while back, I got the Blu-ray of Human Target Season 1 out there. But the only other stuff I do have, they picked up recently, because you might notice back here, I've got my Jessica Jones posters up over here again, because certain creative influences are stirring up at me, because I've talked about here and there about us trying to get this kind of short film project going up here and there, and I was kind of spiking up a little bit of it, and we're having little traction issues trying to get things kind of aligned and things and stuff here and there to kind of move things forward to a certain degree. So a little rough going here and there. We'll see where things go as time moves along. But I started getting into more Jessica Jones stuff, because I did some audiobooks earlier in the year that I really, really loved, and I re-upped my Disney Plus subscription to a season 2 and 3 rewatch, which I haven't got too far into. But I started looking around for other stuff that I could possibly get that has Jessica Jones in it. And I was looking around at certain things, and I figured there's a lot of stuff when I'm grabbing a comic book. It's not just the story or who's writing it, but it's also the artwork. And if I'm previewing the artwork and I don't really like the artwork style, then I'm not really going to go for it. So it's like I was looking at all the stuff for the original run they had from Brian Michael Bendis. It's like, very acclaimed writer, but I was looking at the art. It's like, I don't really like the art style. It doesn't really evoke what I'm looking for that character. And so I did eventually find that there was a digital comic done a couple of years ago that eventually went into print called Blind Spot. And I eventually tracked this down. I think I got it off of eBay for a pretty decent price. I haven't read it yet, but just the fact is there's a very interesting, moody art style of the things in that regard. So I felt like there was kind of the way to go, the kind of vibe and mood I want to go for. It's got Luke Cage in it and various other things. So I was like, it just feels like it's more aligned to kind of like the tone and vibe I'm used to from the Netflix series and anything like that. So, and the stories I was listening to on the audiobooks and whatnot, it feels like that's the vibe I want to go for and trying to find that in that regard. So I figured I'd grab this one up, because it's fairly not super thick is what I'm saying. So it feels like it's probably a doable type of thing, even though I've got some Batman and Nightwing books over there that I haven't touched, that have been sitting around for ages. But I decided to grab that up. I'll eventually get around to it, but it was a nice thing to kind of dig up and try to find something that seemed like it was kind of interesting in my regard to kind of dig into. And one other little thing, because I don't know, I just plugged in Jessica Jones into eBay just to find whatever the fuck was available, and I came across this little Loot Crate figurine that someone was just selling. There was a couple of them being sold and whatnot from back in the day, and it's just this little figurine of Jessica just being a badass, kicking this entire brick wall apart and everything like that. It's pretty nice. I just felt like this would be kind of a nice type of thing to have, and it came with the original box. So it's a Q-Fig, especially has the Netflix thing on the whole thing, so it's probably around 2016, 2017 maybe, somewhere around that range. 2017 is the mark on the indicia of the copyright and everything like that, so you can get a bigger image of it off the back of the whole thing. But I felt like for about $10, it's a nice little thing to have. Kind of have it on the desk and kind of have that be interesting, because it's also in the same outfit that Kristen Ritter wore on the show. It's like, okay, it's the exact outfit. And that was just the very important thing in that regard. So they got the representation pretty down pat in the whole thing. So I really, really like it, because I love Kristen. She's absolutely fantastic. I loved her new book, Retreat, I mentioned some time ago. And I loved her first book, Bonfire, both in the audiobook forms. Fantastic type of stuff. And she's coming back now. She's coming back in the new season of Daredevil. There's rumors of them developing a new Jessica Jones series for Disney Plus. Hope things work out for it. So that's a really good type of thing in that regard. And let's see what else I had on my list. Where I am going to go see the new Superman movie. And I got advance tickets, because they have a special Tuesday, July 8th screening of the whole thing. And I got an IMAX ticket, because this was like a special preview for Amazon Prime customers. So I signed up for that thing. That's why I've got the I'll get my Kino Lorber discs and everything like that. So I order all that stuff from there, and because I originally ordered that stuff as just like, okay, I'm going to get the free shipping whatsoever. So I just like feel like I'll just get the free shipping and not sign up for Prime. But then that Superman ticket thing came around, bringing through Amazon Prime members only. So I figured like, okay, I'll sign up for Prime. I'll cancel that order. I'll reorder it with the Prime shipping and get everything like that, and I'll get my tickets for Superman. So I'll be seeing the film on the 8th of July, which is on Tuesday. So hopefully, maybe I could get early thoughts out on the film before the weekend. So we'll see what happens in that regard. So I think it's about a 7 p.m. showing. Like I said, I got the IMAX ticket for the AMC I like to go to. So like I was like, I really wanted to see an IMAX. And I was like, it was just the fact that they had that as an option for that entire screening and everything like that. So I was really, really pleased on the entire idea there. So yeah, it's a 7 p.m. screening. So I'll see how things go and give thoughts one way or another. If I do a video, hopefully I'll do a video and maybe get a little traction out of the whole thing and give you some thoughts about the entire film in that regard. So that's a really good thing on my regard. And some other little things. Because something that I was watching, because I felt like recently, there's a lot of blind spots I have with Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Because back in the day when the thing was doing first run, it was running on WGN in syndication. The problem was it would constantly get preempted for like Cubs games and stuff like that. So like it would be like, oh, well, it's supposed to air like Saturday at like 5 o'clock, where the hell it is, but then like gets preempted, and like now it's like Sunday at fucking 10 p.m. or some shit. Like kept jumping around the schedule, so I kept losing track of it. So kind of like after the show wrapped, I started buying like random VHS tapes to watch episodes, stuff like that, so I can catch up on random stuff here and there. So I never really kind of did never seen every episode. Like I've seen every episode of TNG many times, but I never sat down and watched all the stuff from like the later seasons of Deep Space Nine. And while I decided, at least for season 7, because I was watching stuff on Pluto TV, and they had the first like the last episode of season 6. They went the first couple of season 7 while I was editing video on the Pride of Prophecy stuff. And I decided, well, I got some time, I'm not really doing anything. And I felt like I would sit down and just do the full watch-through of Season 7 on the entire Deep Space Nine, the final season, and it was pretty damn satisfying. A few things I felt like there could have been worked out better, but they had to add in Ezri Dax in the last season because Terry Farrell left the series and they killed off Jadzia, and they had to bring in a new character in that regard for the Dax symbiont. And I felt like, well, they did a really good job of giving her a spotlight here or there, kind of developing her character. But I felt like she definitely could have used like another season beyond that to really kind of flesh herself out and kind of cement her character in a certain way. So they did a pretty good job in terms of what they had there. And like, there's a lot of great storylines, really paid off a lot of good things. I was very pleased. Certainly a lot of things I saw to fill in the gaps of the earlier seasons, but I felt like, okay, I kind of watched these first couple episodes of the season already, so let me just jump in and kind of just zip through things in that regard. So I got through them in a couple of days and whatnot, just watching my DVD. So cool stuff in that regard. And that's all I have for this point in time. There's I was like maybe a month ago, I was dabbling in the entire thing of the Star Wars 2004 DVD release, because after I did the Terminator 2 thing, the home video retrospect, was like, oh, I don't want to fucking do another one of these fucking things. It takes up so much time. It's so aggravating. It's so exhausting. That's just that it takes a time for me to heal from some of these things. It's like, oh fuck this thing. God damn it, this thing took so much fucking time and energy. I don't want to do this again. But I was dabbling a little bit in the whole thing of all the stuff that went into the entire DVD release in terms of their mastering and all the, like, mountains of different things. It's way more involved than the other releases, because there's just a lot of fucking shit going on. There's the restoration, the mastering, the tinkering, all the different things. There's a lot of fucking shit. I do have a lot of things bookmarked. I was kind of looking at things. I had the disc script. I was trying to do some comparison stuff up on Blue Sky and stuff like that. Show like comparison stills of different releases in that regard. Something that's on the docket, but I just like, I was started into it as a thing to maybe do, but I was like, I wasn't quite excited for it, but I was like kind of interested in it. So it's kind of stirring up in the background to a certain degree, but we'll see where that goes. Definitely something I do want to cover. Just have to feel like I want to do it at a certain point in time. I don't want to. It's like, oh, it's just time to do it. I feel like I've talked about it enough. I need to pressure myself to do it. I'll do it when I feel like I've got the time for it, the mental capacity for it, and stuff like that. So kind of in this entire thing where we're still trying to see if we can get to this film project, the short film project thing. I don't want to bog myself down with a big project. So like a couple reviews here and there, maybe a light retro video series type of thing. Maybe the Apollo 13 one if I get a long weekend with nothing much else to do, which might be next weekend because I took the 4th, 5th, and 6th off. But see if I haven't discussed when we're going to record commentaries because I want to get through the stand in entirety first before we do the commentary stuff. But we might, who knows what's going to happen next weekend. But anything like that, we'll see where things go. I'll get through the Nighthawks video first, see where that takes me, how long that takes me to get there, and move on from that point forward. So I think that's about all I have at this point in time. So I do have some concerts coming up in the next month. Hemi, Trent Spann's return to the stage in mid-July over at the Live Bar Lounge in Chicago. Gonna hit those guys up because it's been a very long time. I'm not really doing the back end stuff for them anymore. Kind of departed from that type of role last year, but I still want to be there for the guys. I want to see him again, support Trent as he's gone through some tougher times lately with certain loss of his family, and I certainly just want to see him and hang out with him because like I've always been just like I'm there to shoot the video and everything like that. Now I can just sit there and just enjoy the show, pay the cover if I have to, all that type of stuff. Got to remember to bring some money at this time because I don't carry cash anymore. Long divorce carrying cash around. But I just got to remember to bring cash for that and everything like that and just kind of enjoy the experience of being with those guys again. And then I've got The Warning coming up later in the month over at the Riviera Theater, anything like that. So we'll see where things go beyond that point because in October there's a Judas Priest Alice Cooper concert coming to the amphitheater in the Southport suburbs that might go. I saw that on Facebook. Trent was also interested in the event, so like it'd be nice to kind of go if the weather's not shit. You never know when October what's going to happen. It could rain. It could do any other thing. It could be an extension of summer. God knows what's going to happen. But I think it's like early October it's going to happen. I'd really like this. Seen Priest a couple times. We kind of sort of saw Alice because he opened for Iron Maiden when we went. When me and Trent and a few other people went. We kind of got there late, so we really didn't see Alice properly. We were up in the skybox, so we really didn't see Alice Cooper properly. So it'd be nice to see a full Cooper concert and then see Priest again because Priest is fucking awesome. I saw it back in 2018, and they just fucking decimated everything. They're just awesome. Incredible stuff. Halford can still belt it out like the best one. The band is just awesome. Just, my God, they are metal so much. They're just like, excellent type of stuff. No chance I'd pass up seeing Priest again if I got the chance. So, good things in that regard. So, guys, thanks so much for checking things out around here. There's always the Patreon to contribute anything to the channel. Super thanks for your feature to contribute anything monetary to the channel directly through YouTube. And, of course, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing if you haven't. Always great things. So, leave your comments below about anything you really kind of got your interest up. And then the hard thing, if you're excited for Nighthawks or the other commentaries we have coming up in July, please let me know. And of course, after we get through the stand, we'll be doing Darkman, and then we got to figure out what we're doing for September. But we got a lot of different options kind of bubbling up to the surface, so we'll see where that stuff lands in due time. So, guys, thanks much. Take care. Bye bye.